Welcome into KSU Nation, the best K-State and Big 12 podcast out there. I'm Stevie B.
And I'm Kenny G.
And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about Week 11 in the Big 12, picking all the games and doing our power rankings. Kenny, something still going on with the subscribe button, man.
There's nothing going on with the subscribe button anymore, Steve. We have got people that just aren't clicking it. No, but really, we just really appreciate you guys going ahead and clicking that subscribe button. Make sure it works for us and for you, because it's important. But we just we appreciate all that have subscribed so far, and we're really close to our goal. We keep climbing the subscribers, and we are closer and closer and closer, but we haven't hit our goal yet of 1,000. Once we do, we probably will stop bugging you guys so hard about it. But with that all being said, I think we can get into this week. K-State doesn't play this week, Steve.
They do not play this week, but there's still a lot to talk about, man. There is
a lot to talk about. But I wanted to start off by saying this. I know we don't typically talk about high school that much, but there's some news going on. Your old stomping ground, Steve, Manhattan Indians are currently undefeated. And in their last game, they did a shutout against one of the Wichita schools, I believe.
Wichita North. They won 59-0 against Wichita North.
My
First
God.
round of the playoffs. Yeah. I'm a former Manhattan High Indian football player. Played every year. Played a couple years in college at Kansas Wesleyan before transferring to K-State. But yeah, Manhattan's undefeated. It's an elite program. They won a state championship just a couple years ago. They're number 2 seed in the West right now, behind only Derby because of the point differential. Great program. Joe Shorts came there when I was, I think, a junior or a sophomore. He's now the head coach. Manhattan High is amazing, and they have a player that's K-State's recruiting, JJ Dunnigan, wide receiver DB. Great player. His dad played at K-State, and hopefully the Wildcats can land him, man.
Yeah, I was just thinking, really the reason why I'm shouting this out is because, for those who don't know, I mean, Manhattan is the town that K-State is in, and it's good to have a really, successful and prominent program of high school in the town. I mean, basically, like, K-State could just look in their backyard and kind of find a lot of really special talent, and it's good to see that Manhattan is being really successful, not just in K-State, of course, but also in the high school level as well. Big things happening for Manhattan, and I just wanted to point that out because I know it's near and dear to your heart, Steve.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I teach at a high school that's not Manhattan. But, I always root for Manhattan, obviously, as a former player and growing up in Manhattan. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, just wanted to point that out. Make us proud, Manhattan Indians. I don't have any skin in the game. I went to a smaller school up north, but I do like to see the local schools that I'm familiar with successful and really just knock some heads around the state of Kansas. And it's just cool that Manhattan is finding a lot of success recently. So
absolutely. They're an elite 6A program. 6A is the biggest in Kansas. Mm-hmm. Like I said, they won a state championship just a couple of years ago, and they're looking like they have the juice to do it again. So hopefully they do.
Woo. That's exciting news for you, man, for sure.
Yes, sir. Should we get into our Big 12 Week 11 picks first, or the power rankings?
Well, I would say let's save the power rankings for last. That's usually what everybody's favorite thing is.
I agree.
Let's just get right in to the weeks. Week 11. Man, that's crazy. Week 11 picks. A lot of big games going on. There's like basically some deciding games of who's going to get knocked out completely of bowl contention, who's going to be knocked out of Big 12 championship contention. So a lot to be excited about for this weekend, even though the Cats don't play. and they're currently on their bye week, as well as some other teams. I can't remember which ones, but
Houston is one of them for sure.
oh yeah,
So,
Houston's one of them. I think Arizona State is one of them, right?
no, Arizona State's playing UCF. So
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
okay, let's
Well,
get into it.
absolutely.
Let's get right into the Big 12 Week 11 picks here. Make sure you subscribe. We are really close to 1,000 subs, so please click the subscribe button. Let's go here. There are some big games. We got a big noon kickoff. We have a rivalry game, the Holy War. Let's go. All right, first up, what do we got? West Virginia at Cincinnati. This is kind of an elimination game in terms of the Big 12 championship. I don't think either one of these teams are really, I mean, of course they're dreaming about it, but I don't think either one of them realistically thinks that they can get to Arlington. Cincinnati favored by 4.5, over under 56.5. Kenny, let's go to you first, bud. What do you got here in West Virginia versus Cincinnati?
Oh man, this could actually potentially turn into a really good rivalry down the stretch. These two teams battling each other over the years is going to be kind of cool. But I got Cincinnati winning this one. I just think their pass game is really superior, and West Virginia has a hard time stopping the pass. You saw it on full display when K-State played them. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pick Cincinnati. I think their quarterback's good. So
Sorsby's pretty good.
He's pretty good, and they've got a really good receiving core. And fun fact, but they were also one of the teams that gave Houston that shutout. One of the teams that gave them the
was
shutout.
It 30? I think it was like 34-0 or something like that.
Yep. But I'm going to go ahead and say Cincinnati. I think they're both coming off of a bye week, right? I'm not, if I'm not mistaken.
Possibly.
I think they are. So they're both going to be up for this game. And even though West Virginia is still pretty far away, I still think this is the closest game for them in terms of away games. So at least they don't have to travel too far. It's not like they're going to like Utah or Arizona or something like that. But
right.
Let's go Cincinnati 35, West Virginia 24.
That's a great score. That really is. And that would hit the over. I'm also on a Cincinnati train. I think they're a pretty good football team. They played Colorado pretty close. I mean, honestly, they're a few plays away from being undefeated, even though they're 5-3. I think West Virginia's defense is pretty horrid, at least against the pass, like you said. Their offense has been hit or miss for me. So I'm going to pick Cincinnati to win something like 31-21. Hitting the under.
All right.
So, moving on. Interesting game in Arrowhead this Saturday. Iowa State at KU. I mean, we've said it all season. Iowa State's going to have more fans at this game. We honestly thought there'd be more momentum for Iowa State, but they just lost this past weekend. Iowa State is still favored by 3, over under 49.5. Kenny, what do you got? Cyclones versus Jayhawks in Kansas City.
This is going to come down to if Iowa State figures out their rush defense, man. It's kind of what bit them in the butt last game. That's what almost lost them the game against UCF. And I just think that Kansas, even though they lost the Sunflower Showdown, they were the better team that day. They just found a way to lose in the last quarter, just like every game they've had so far.
Yep.
But I feel like the bye week came at a really good time. And I think right now what they really want is to have a big win against a school that's, also another, I wouldn't call them rivals, but both teams want to beat each other badly.
I agree.
And so, I think KU is going to be up for this. And if there's any team that is going to be playing spoiler against a top team, it's going to be KU. And I just think that maybe KU might have the juice this game. Iowa State, they had to think about their loss. KU spent 2 weeks preparing for this team, so I think KU might actually take this win. It might be let's go with like a 30 to like 21.
You're picking KU to win 30-21.
Yeah.
Upset special, and that would hit the over as well. I'm also going KU here. Maybe I'm just buying a sauce too much. Maybe I just want it to happen because I'm a K-State fan, and we need some help at this point. I don't know, but I do agree. I mean, KU won last year in Ames, Iowa. That was a pretty nice win for them. They returned a lot of their players, and everyone thought they'd be a lot better. Took them way too long to figure out how to play some football. Iowa State is reeling right now. This is probably not the game that they'd want to be playing following a loss. There will be a ton of Iowa State fans there. I expect probably 60,000 people at this game, maybe even 65,000. I'm going to pick KU also to win 28-24.
Oh man, close game. And it could definitely happen, but like I said, Iowa State's rush defense has looked sus.
I agree.
And they haven't played, like when they play their games against I guess you could say lesser opponents, they haven't looked the greatest, but we'll see what happens this Saturday with this game. I'm actually excited to watch that game. I think it's going to be really entertaining, and it's definitely going to tell a lot. It's going to say a lot for what goes on in the Big 12 after this. And then that also follows the next game, Colorado versus Texas Tech. Hey, call me like, I don't know, a Debbie Downer or whatever. Call me the what do they call the devil's advocate, but I'm picking another upset here. It looks like down the stretch we're going to start seeing a lot of upsets and crazy games, but Colorado, this is a big away game for them. They did have to travel to UCF a couple weeks back, and they did an amazing job of shutting them down. It was a crazy game. But I think Texas Tech has sort of found the sauce a little bit. This is going to be a good game, Steve.
It's going to be a really good game. I agree. I mean, it's the Fox big noon kickoff. I agree. What's your score?
See, this is what I was going to say, though. My biggest criticism of Texas Tech was their defense. They just played Iowa State, and they kept it kind of a low-scoring game most of the game.
Yeah, it was part of that was weather-related, but I agree, and I also don't think Iowa State's offense is amazing either.
Yeah, and so this will be really interesting. I know Blackout just commented right now. CU is going to get the win.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to predict the upset with Texas Tech winning. Look, they're coming home after a big win, and they're in contention just like Colorado. They are just like Colorado in contention. They're not out of it. And this is a big game for both programs. And this actually, I believe, the winner of this game knocks the other person out of contention.
It's an elimination game, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly just that. So I'm going to go Texas Tech. We'll go Texas Tech 36, Colorado 33.
Okay, so I'm on the same wavelength as you. Maybe it's because I'm a K-State fan and K-State grad, and we need Colorado to lose to make the title game. But I really honestly feel like, Texas Tech is playing a lot better ever since they lost, like giving up 59 points to Baylor. Ever since then, they've played a lot better. They won just this past weekend at Iowa State. Colorado is pretty good. I still have some questions on their defense. I think this is going to be a really high scoring game. I'm going to pick higher than this because I don't trust either defense at all. And both of these offenses are pretty good. I like Taj Brooks running the ball. He's already got 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. Shadur Sanders, 2,500 yards, 21 TDs. Man, Over under 62.5. It feels like you always got to pick the over when it's Texas Tech. I'm going to pick Texas Tech to win 47 to like 42, something like a crazy weird score. With the upset special, their fans are going to rush the field. They're going to feel like they're going to go to the conference title game. And like you said, this is an elimination game, and K-State needs Texas Tech to win, and that's partly why I'm picking them. So,
and I want to just make something really clear. Us picking Texas Tech has no bearing on whether or not we think that Colorado is bad or something. Like
no, Colorado's really good. I just said that.
Both teams have improved a lot. And no, I'm not going to bet money on this.
No, absolutely not.
This is a close game. Both teams are very, very good, and I'll say this to all you Colorado fans out there. If this was played in Boulder, I'd pick Colorado.
I agree 100%. Okay? I agree.
That's what's making the difference for me, is that because it's an away game, I feel like Texas Tech is more of a harder place to play in than UCF or Arizona. Those were the other two away games for Colorado. I think Lubbock is very difficult to win in. Very, very difficult to win in.
I agree.
And so that's the only thing. It's hard to win on the road. Again, if they were playing in Boulder, I would pick Colorado every single time. But it's just the fact that they're traveling. Texas Tech they're getting on a roll here. Okay, so
they are.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
They have the sauce right now, and honestly, I feel like Colorado's kind of outkicked their coverage. They're a good team. I don't think that they're a top 25 team by the end of the season. We'll see.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Colorado fans are thinking they're going to go undefeated the rest of the season. Obviously, I don't think that. But I still think they're a really good team. So, yeah, we both have Texas Tech winning. We're on the same wavelength so far here, Kenny.
Yeah,
Cincinnati,
no shade.
KU, and Texas
no shade
Tech.
to those teams. I just wanted to point that out. But let's move on to the next game. Now, this game is going to be wild. But
why is that?
They're very similar in their offense. They both like running the ball, but again, it's going to come down to home field advantage. I'm not picking an upset here. Obviously, I'm taking the home team, because let's not forget where these two teams are located on the map of the United States. UCF is traveling a really far distance to get to this game. And so also Arizona's good this year. To all the people out there, you just got to accept the fact that Arizona State is a good football team this year. And they've proved everyone wrong, all the naysayers. And I think they're going to be up for this game, man. They just beat Oklahoma State in Stillwater. This is going to be fun, dude. Arizona State is one of the most exciting teams to talk about this year. And UCF, you had a massive game, but it was against Arizona. So I think it's interesting. They're going against back-to-back Arizona schools, one at home, one away. But I've got Arizona State winning this game, Steve. I don't know. I just think they're
good, man. They're really good.
And you have to acknowledge the traveling. Like, you have to acknowledge the amount of travel that UCF is going to be going under here. So 55 for the over-under, huh? I'm definitely taking the over here. I'm going to probably go like 35-28.
Okay. I like it.
Let's do that. 35-28.
I also have Arizona State winning. I think they're better. I think their defense is better. I know that, UCF fired their DC, and they looked a lot better this past weekend, only giving up 12 to Arizona. And fun fact, every team wearing black this past weekend won except for one team. You know who that one team was? Oklahoma State.
That's hilarious.
Every other team that wore black won this past weekend, and UCF was one of them. I don't think they're winning this game. I think Arizona State's pretty good. They're a lot better than everyone thought they'd be. I love their running back, Cam Scatterbo. He's a lot of fun to watch, rushing and receiving. I think it's going to be something like 31 to like 17. I don't think UCF is going to go off for 50 again. Having said that, they got a new quarterback. He could throw a forward pass and the other three couldn't. So we'll see what happens.
That's
but
right,
yeah,
man.
I like Arizona State to win this game pretty comfortably because I don't think UCF is very good, honestly. So,
and we'll get to all these comments once we finish predicting, doing our score predictions.
I agree.
Let's move on to this very underwhelming game. This game has no juice to it at all.
Oh,
unfortunately. Boy. Oklahoma State versus TCU.
I don't even want to pick it.
I don't even care who wins at this point. I do think that if Oklahoma State loses this game, they are completely even out of bowl contention, right? Is that correct?
If Oklahoma State loses, they cannot make a bowl.
Wow. There's a lot of drama going on in Oklahoma State and Stillwater with Mike Gundy, the things that he said about the fan base, criticizing them for having frustrations about the program. I don't think Mike Gundy's ever going to lose his job. I don't think he's ever going to get fired.
I think he should retire. I really do.
I think it's time for him to step down. I don't think this is the kind of environment that he's really going to thrive in. So, look, Oklahoma State, they're going against TCU is not really much of a running team, and Oklahoma State has struggled against running teams. But I don't know. I think TCU might win this game. Almost 2 score favorites. I mean, that says a lot right there.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go TCU. I don't think Oklahoma State's going to score that much, but maybe, I don't know. Let's go. You know what? I'll give Oklahoma State the benefit of the doubt. I'll give them like 28, TCU 41. How about that?
Okay. I dig it. Yeah. I mean, I think Oklahoma State's defense is garbage, like hot garbage. TCU is hit or miss for me. I mean, some weeks they look good. Some weeks they give up 66 at SMU. You know what I mean? Sometimes you lose at home to Houston, and, they should have beaten UCF earlier this season. Man, I don't even know what to think about them, honestly. I have no faith in Oklahoma State at all at this point. I mean, they should have won a couple more games than they did. But I mean, they're 0-6 for a reason. I really feel like the bottom of all of the major conferences are so much better now than they were 15, 20 years ago. I mean, the bottom of the conferences you used to be able to beat by 30 or 40. And now it's probably, just like 10 to 15 or whatever, you know what I mean? So I got TCU winning 38-28, not covering a 10.5, but and not hitting the over under either. So just right under. The game of the weekend, Kenny. The game of the weekend in the Big 12. We got Holy War, man. BYU at Utah. BYU fans got to be excited for this game. I mean, they're 8-0. They're undefeated, ranked in the top 10. Utah is terrible this year. They should be winning this game, but it's on the road, man, and it's a rivalry game. BYU is favored by 3.5, over under just 40.5. Woo-wee. Kenny, what do you got in Holy War, BYU at Utah?
I said that I wasn't going to pick against BYU, but I thought about it. This week has just been Kenny picking all the upsets. But to be fair, you've picked a couple as well. But listen, Utah does not care about any game after this game. They literally don't. Their whole entire program is centered around this singular game. That is all they have to play for, is just this game. This is the only one that matters to them. This is Utah's Super Bowl. BYU, they have aspirations after this game. I mean, they have the vision of possibly going undefeated getting to the Big 12 championship game, and then also playing the college football playoff. That is not in Utah's mind whatsoever. That is way out of reach for them. This is the only thing that matters for their fan base, for the coach, for the players, for everyone that's involved in the state of Utah. This is the only thing that matters to Utah Utes. So I have a feeling, and BYU fans, listen, you've been saying this all season long. The other shoe's going to drop. One of these days, it's going to drop. If there is any game that this is going to happen, it's going to be this game. When everything is looking great. Look, K-State almost lost to KU, okay? And we saw their record. We saw how bad they were all season, and we were doing well ourselves, and we managed to pull out the win. But I just feel like Utah, both teams are in a bye week. Both teams are going to be coming out hot. I just feel like Utah is going to be so fired up for this game. This is it for them. This is, even though there's more games after this for Utah, this is the only one that they care about. I have Utah Utes winning this game 28-27.
Oh, I cannot wait for the apology video because I am not picking Utah, man. I don't know how you can pick them. I mean, they lost at Houston. I mean, they lost 10-7 at home to TCU. I know it's a rivalry game, but man, I've learned my lesson on BYU. They're a good football team. They really are. I mean,
it's going to be part 4. It's the trilogy with the last video. It's the Breaking Dawn.
Part 1, Part 2.
Breaking Dawn, Part 1, Part 2.
No, I think BYU is winning this game. I do. I did look up some interesting stuff on Holy War. They first played back in 1896. Utah has absolutely dominated this series for the most part. They have won every game except for one in the last 14 years. But the last time that they played was 2021 in Provo. BYU got the win 26-17, but this game is not in Provo. It is in Salt Lake City. The last time BYU won in Salt Lake City, Kenny, 18 years ago in 2006. So,
oh my God,
it will have been a long time since they've won in Salt Lake City. I still think it's happening because I have no faith at all in Utah. I mean, they were picked to win the conference and they look like dog crap. They really do. BYU's offense and their defense looks great. I mean, Retzloff, let's be honest. I mean, their entire offense runs through him. Their pass defense is pretty darn good. Their rush defense is a little sus, but Utah's offense is so bad. It is so bad. So,
well, they've had a bye week to figure some stuff out.
I know. And I know they fired their OC and, they're probably better than they were, but man, I mean, if Utah can't even beat Arizona at home, I mean, I don't know how they can beat BYU at home. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna pick BYU to win this game. But as you said earlier, I did guarantee BYU would lose one game before the conference championship. It just won't be this game. It will not be this game. I got BYU winning this game 31-14 by 3 scores.
Wow. All right.
I think Utah stinks, man. I really do. And BYU is top 10. We're going to find out tonight here in the college football playoff rankings where they are. I bet they're going to be top 6. I really do. So
all I have, I mean, let's be honest, Steve, based on what Utah has done, I have no faith in them. I'm really just I'm making this gamble that they're going to literally they're going to be doing trick plays. They're going to scheme, and they're going to throw in the whole kitchen sink in this game. And I have nothing to base that on except for this is a rivalry game. This is in their home turf, and they've got nothing else to lose. They have nothing else to play for except for this game to carry them till the next season, for the recruits, for everything this is everything for Utah. This is all they care about, is winning this game. And then they could just throw the rest of the season away, call it a mulligan season. At least you won against BYU, your in-state rivals, and then just look to 2025. I have nothing to base that on except for I just feel like that the players are going to be up for this. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, Utah does hold the overall series lead 62-35, going back to 1896. So,
look, I
maybe they
didn't
have
think
something left
K-State
in
would
them.
lose. I didn't think K-State would lose to Houston, and look where we're at. Okay. I didn't think
Yes,
Texas Tech was gonna beat Iowa State names. Look
I
where we're
agree.
at.
I agree. Well, I'll say this though. I mean, K-State 100% overlooked Houston. Let's be honest. K-State overlooked Houston. They did. Do you think BYU is going to overlook Utah as a rival?
I don't know.
Way in hell, dude.
Yeah,
no
they're
way
gonna be
in hell.
I think, but honestly, I think this game is going to mean more to Utah than BYU, only because of the fact that they haven't won. They haven't done very well. And again, this is the only game that they have in their sights for the foreseeable future. They're not going to care about any games after this. No. BYU, again, if they lose this game, okay, in-state rivals. It's an away game. It's a tough environment. At least we could still make the Big 12 championship and get to the playoff. Like that for them is still in their sights. For Utah, this is it. This is all it is. This is their whole Super Bowl.
BYU has a lot more to lose. BYU has a lot more to lose.
You're right. You're right.
For sure.
Let's get into these comments. Blackout says Colorado plays their best games during the day. Check the stats.
I mean, it's been a year and a half since Prime has been there, so I don't know how you can say look at the stats. I mean, they didn't go to a bowl game last year. They've gone to one bowl game in the last 15, 20 years, so whatever.
He says Nebraska was tougher for us.
Well, Nebraska was good at the beginning of the season. They are not good anymore.
Yep. Let's see. Our night games are the worst. Maybe. But again, this isn't even this is an away game, so we'll see.
It is.
Everything. I mean,
this is their toughest away game of the season.
What is this? The Chosen Dean. The bias is so crazy it clouds your judgment. Hey,
maybe
so. But again, I said that Colorado is actually a really good football team.
I said the same thing,
and I'm only picking them because away games are hard. And it's difficult to win on the road. Texas Tech is, they're up for this game. This is going to be a tough game for both teams. I'm not taking anything away from Colorado. I think both teams are going to be delivering punches back and forth. I really do believe that.
I agree.
I just think the home team gets the edge in the end. Nothing. Okay. I think Utah will upset BYU. Okay, blackout. All right.
I dig it.
All right, so I'm not the only one out here. I'm not the only one who's crazy. Who has scored 40 points on Colorado this season? Hey, just because no one has doesn't mean no one will.
True.
But I will say I'll take that into consideration. I don't think I gave 40. Did you give 40 points?
I did.
Okay, that's why I said that. That's why
100% I did.
I was like, I don't think I gave 40 points, but let's see here. The Chosen Dean, exactly. Okay, they're just having a conversation. This dude Steve is a Colorado hater. Hey, listen, Tony, the
Colorado fan. Okay, let me take this. Colorado fans talked mad stuff for a whole week. 2 weeks really about K-State. What did K-State do? They went to Colorado and they got the dub. So you know what? Sure, I might be in Colorado, but K-State got the win. So I got bragging rights forever. And, I like I said, I got Colorado losing, and K-State's going to be right back in the driver's seat to go to Arlington.
Also, Tony, the pod boss. Steve is a K-State grad, okay? And he was around two times. And I think you should know K-State, Colorado, they're old school rivals, man. So that it's not quite as big as KU versus K-State, but it's up there.
I hate Jeremy Bloom. I hate that guy.
So there you go. You're talking to a K-State alum. I don't hate Colorado as much as Steve probably does, but I will say that I'm not picking them. I'm not picking against them because I think they're bad. I'm pretty objective against them. So these dudes will be sick looking at Colorado winning the Big 12. Hey, listen, I don't know if you saw the last podcast. The Big 12,
so I won't be sick.
I don't know if you saw the last podcast when we were basically reviewing the K-State game versus Houston, but I said if Colorado wins out, congratulations, good for you. You had a great season. BYU, you go to the championship game, good for you. You had a great season. I'm happy for you guys. I mean, by all means, like, I want good teams to win, okay? And if you make it to the Big 12 championship game, you deserve to be there. Just like anybody who makes it to the championship game, they deserve to be there, except for Oklahoma State last year. Liv Moss Kenny. Nice. All right. All right. I don't know. Is this a Utah fan, a Utah Ute fan who's happy that I picked them? I don't know. K-State ain't good anymore. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're not good. I think they had a really bad weekend. And they
I'm still mad. I'm still mad, dude.
No, listen, no excuses. Okay. No excuses for the loss that they took, but to say that they're not good, I don't know about that.
I want to say something really quickly here. K-State had won 28 consecutive games when leading by 2 scores or more in the fourth quarter. The loss at Houston, up 19-10 in the fourth quarter for like 12 minutes left, was the first time they had lost, like I said, in 28 games, going all the way back to Bill Snyder's last game at K-State when it blew I think a 17-point fourth quarter lead at Iowa State. So 2018 was the last time K-State blew a lead like that. So we were all shocked, honestly.
Yeah, it's again that game is inexcusable. It's I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm still upset about it, but again, there's nothing you can do about it. It's in the past. The past is the past. We just have to look forward and keep rooting for K-State. Thankfully, they have a bye week. They can figure out a lot of things. My confidence in K-State is to the floor now. This is a game that they were supposed to prove to me that they could absolutely dominate from start to finish, and they struggled against a bad team. So you are absolutely right. Take your victory lap. I welcome it. Okay. Let's see here. BYU has only played. I don't think they finished their sentence here.
No, he said he finished it down there. Go to the second to the last one.
Oh, okay, here we go. BYU has only played Utah 6 times in the last 20 years.
That's wrong.
3 times at Utah. Utah 2-1. Steve, do you want to correct Shop Dog Bob?
Yeah, that's completely false. They've played 17 times in the last 20 years. They played in Salt Lake City 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times over that 20-year span. And Utah has won every one of them, except for one. So
this is interesting. QUAD. I think it's just supposed to be quad. But y'all want Colorado to lose so bad they're going to beat Texas Tech by 2 or more scores. Hey,
not happening.
That would be pretty wild. Listen,
I would give them mad props if it happened.
If they beat Texas Tech in Lubbock by 2 or more scores, I will not pick against Colorado for the rest of the season. I agree. Mark my words. If they do that,
bookmark it.
Bookmark that. Colorado, I won't pick against them for the rest of the season, which means that they would be in the Big 12 championship game because that's all they need to do is just win out from this point. Brooklyn boy. I think K-State will beat K-State.
Basically, that's what happened against Utah, man. I mean, K-State beat themselves. I still have no idea why K-State threw the ball 39 times in that rainstorm. I have no idea why K-State threw the ball at his own 20-yard line with 12 minutes left. Just run the ball, milk clock, make him drive the whole length of the field. No idea. So, I mean, I kind of agree with you, Brooklyn boy. K-State's been beating themselves lately, man.
That's hilarious. That's probably one of the best comments I've seen. Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, K-State could potentially lose to BYE. We don't know. We'll see.
What's BYE?
Bye.
Oh.
They might lose to bye this week. I don't know. Oh yeah, this is your comment here. And then Brooklyn boy, I can't wait to see y'all rankings. It better be right. Well, what a great segue, Brooklyn boy, because that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're getting right into the power rankings for week 11. And yeah, well, I hope I am right. I don't want to be your enemy. I want to be your friend.
Kenny, let him know to subscribe, man.
Hey, yeah, guys, if you're finding this entertaining or enjoyable at all. I mean, I see you guys watching. There's at least 20 or more of you watching right now. And if you're in here, just go ahead and look. If this just popped up because it's in your algorithm, do us a favor. Make sure it's always in your algorithm. And the way you
Yes,
do
sir.
that is by subscribing. Put a little thumbs up on the video, comment on it. Definitely appreciate you guys for doing that. All right. So, Steve, let's get into this power rankings. Yeah, man, this is crazy.
What do you got for 16? Because I think it's pretty obvious who you have to go at 16. You have to go Oklahoma State last. I mean, they're the only team that hasn't won a conference game at this point. Their defense is complete garbage. I mean, their coach is calling out the fans when their team stinks. I got to go Oklahoma State 16, man.
Yep, same.
Here's where it gets interesting. I feel like 13 through 15 is pretty interchangeable. I really do. So I'm going to go, this is going to be weird, man. I'm going to go Utah number 15, and then I'm going to go Arizona 14 and KU 13. Even though KU is 2-6, I feel like they have the best chance of those three teams to finish with a better record. We just picked them in our main podcast to upset Iowa State. I think Utah's offense is awful. I think Arizona is a terrible team right now. And I just feel like KU among those teams is probably the best team. So I know I just jumped a gun and, went a couple here. So what do you got?
Look, I know that Arizona beat Utah, but it was a little bit earlier in the season. I think Arizona has gotten progressively worse as the season has gone on. I think Arizona's 15, Utah's 14. And I'm going to throw UCF at 13. I know they just won big, but they won big against Arizona. And so I'm throwing UCF there. And no. Sorry. It's Arizona, Utah, UCF. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to do something crazy here. I'm going to move KU up one more spot. And I'm going to put Houston behind them because they beat them by 4 touchdowns. But I am going to put TCU ahead of KU because they won at KU earlier this season. I still don't think TCU is very good. And then I'm going to go UCF right ahead of them. I know I'm jumping a gun. I'm doing a bunch of these in a row. I'm trying to do transitive property here with the teams that beat who. UCF won at TCU. TCU won at KU. KU beat Houston. Arizona beat Utah. Utah beat Oklahoma State. So that's kind of what I'm doing here with my power rankings.
Right. I see what you're saying. Well, the thing for me is Houston's win over K-State more impressive than KU's win over Houston. That's what I'm kind of juggling right now. And maybe I'm just biased because we beat KU and Houston was able to beat us. So that's kind of like transitive property if you want to think about that. So I'll say KU, Houston, let's see, KU, Houston, and I'll go TCU. I'll go TCU.
Even though KU beat Houston, you're going to have Houston ahead of them, huh?
Yeah, I just think Houston currently right now, if this was a week ago, I think Houston is obviously figuring something out.
I still don't think Houston's very good. I don't even think they played very well against K-State. I think K-State beat themselves.
This might change. This might change in 2 weeks when they come back. So we'll see.
Yep. Number 9, the Gatekeepers.
Got to be. You already know, man. You already know.
You got to be West Virginia there, dude, right?
West Virginia, of course. Yeah.
Okay. This top 8 is where things get, actually this, 5 to 8 is really where things get interesting here. Because I really feel like, honestly, 5 through 8 is actually pretty good football teams. I mean, I think any of those teams, outside of maybe one, feels like they can probably, compete or win the Big 12. So I think Baylor is playing pretty good football right now. They've moved up quite a bit in my rankings.
Baylor for me. Yep. Same.
So I got to go 8 for Baylor, man.
I got Baylor at 8. I've got Cincinnati at 7. Yeah, I just think those are really solid places to put them. Baylor, man, they have really redeemed their horrendous start, and they're really starting to make a comeback in the. Oh wow, that's kind of low, I think, but.
Cincinnati beat Arizona State. I understand Arizona State didn't have their quarterback in that game, but I mean the results matter. And as I said earlier in this, I'm trying to do it based off of who beat who, right? And so Cincinnati did beat Arizona State. It was a home game for Cincinnati. I mean, like I said, 5 through 8 are all still really good football teams, and this could change throughout the season. But right now, I do have Arizona State 7th and Cincinnati 6th because of the transitive property, who beat who.
Right. So yeah, they did lose. They were a home game. Cincinnati had them at home, and I just think Arizona's wins are just a little bit more impressive to me. And maybe it's just because Cincinnati is flying under the radar, and Arizona State, was projected to be the worst team in the conference, and they're doing like big things. So maybe that's where my rankings are coming from with them, like why I'm giving them so much more credit. I know that there's even some people out there. I think Brian Hanley even put them at like number 4 in his power rankings, which is pretty wild. I understand they're a fun team. It's exciting to see. And Scadaboo had a massive game this last weekend.
He did, but Oklahoma State sucks.
Yeah, but I'm going to put them at 6. I can't put them any higher than that, but I just think I don't know. I think they're a fun team, and I love to see their success. So yeah,
I think our top 5 is probably going to be the same. I really do. I think right now, and this will probably change because we both picked Texas Tech to beat Colorado. Right now, I got Texas Tech number 5. I mean, they just won at Iowa State. They're 6-3 overall, 4-2 in the Big 12. They're thinking they have a chance to go to Arlington. Their defense is playing so much better after giving up 59 to Baylor. Their offense has been stellar all year. If they can get anything out of their defense, they're probably pretty happy. I got them number 5, but after this next weekend, like I said, I got them beating Colorado. I'll move them up to number 4 after they win. So what do you got for number 5?
I got K-State at number 5.
No way, dude.
The loss against Houston is just horrible, dude. It doesn't give me confidence anymore, man. Like I'm not gonna look. The 2 teams that I have ahead of them are the 2 teams that they're playing in the next 2 weeks when they come back off their bye week.
Okay.
I feel like they're better than those 2 teams. I'll pick them to win those 2 teams, especially since they're in Manhattan. So I think K-State will beat those 2 teams, but I can't confidently say that they are any higher than 5. And that's it.
I don't agree. I don't agree. But I mean, I've been kind of really doing this based off of who beat who. Texas Tech beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati beat Arizona State. Like I said earlier, UCF beat TCU. TCU beat KU. KU beat Houston. All of that. I got to go Colorado number 4. K-State won at Colorado earlier this year. Now I know Colorado is probably playing better football right now than K-State, but I'm still gonna have K-State number 3. And after Colorado loses this week, K-State's back in the driver's seat to go to Arlington. I still think K-State's a better team. They won in Boulder for a reason, man. They're a better football team. I really do. I understand you're upset right now. I mean, I'm upset too. I am. Having said that, K-State is still no worse than 3rd right now in the Big 12. No way for me.
Yeah, but Colorado didn't lose to Houston, though. That's it. Like to me, that's what's so alarming to me, Steve. Is
I agree.
Colorado doesn't have a stint like that. They lost. Their only conference loss was to us.
And that's why I have them number 4. And that's why I have them number 4 instead of 3.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll say this. 4, I've got Texas Tech.
I figured you're going to go there and you're going to have Colorado 3.
No, I have Iowa State 3. I have
So
Colorado 2, man.
hold on, wait, hold on. Why do you have Iowa State 3 when Texas Tech just beat them?
Iowa State is 3
Why?
because of record, mainly because of record.
I was going to say because Texas Tech literally just beat them.
I know. Well, the same goes for you. You have them 5th, and they just beat Iowa State, and Iowa State's higher. But it's because of record, and you can't ignore the other games that they played. They were undefeated, for the majority of this season. But again, this week showed a lot. I had Iowa State on fraud alert. And I don't know. We'll see what happens.
K-State's on fraud alert now.
And now, exactly, K-State is on fraud alert. I can't confidently say that they're going to win by multiple scores. It's Cats by 1, Cats by 2. It's not Cats by a million anymore. So, 2 is Colorado, and BYU is number 1 for me.
I mean, I think hands down BYU is obviously number 1 everywhere. They're undefeated. I still think Iowa State right now is the second best team. I mean, they're the only team in the conference with 1 loss, by 1 point at home. They gave up the lead of less than a minute left in the game. It was back and forth the whole game. I still think Iowa State's pretty good. I'll probably still pick them to beat K-State. I guess, like you said, 2025 is the year of K-State. I was really hoping it'd be this year. But BYU looks to be the class of the conference, man. I got them winning the Holy War at Utah by 3 scores. I mean, Retzloff is pretty good. Their defense is pretty good. They're the class of the conference right now, man. They really are. That's why they're number 1.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and their season, they proved everybody wrong. I'm happy to see it. And again, if K-State would have, I always said that K-State's season is 2025, mainly because I thought this season they're going to be in a lot of close games against really good teams. Like I thought we would, if we lost to Oklahoma State, if they had an actually good season, I'm like, okay, Oklahoma State, they're projected to be the conference champions, whatever. Right. Utah, conference champion. Like I figured all those teams would be good, but because those teams fell apart, I'm like, oh, maybe K-State actually has a chance. Maybe they actually have a chance this season to make the Big 12 conference championship and win. But when you go and you lose to Houston against the worst scoring offense in the entire country, not just the Big 12, the entire country, that is a problem.
It's alarming.
I can't put you any high. I want K-State to prove me wrong.
I just can't confidently say Colorado is the second best team in the conference just because they didn't play this past weekend. I can't move them up to 2 because they didn't play. I mean, that doesn't seem fair when K-State still won at Colorado. That game happened. It still happened. And I know K-State just lost this past weekend. I get it. Like I said, that's the first time K-State had given up a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter since 2018. I get all that. I still think K-State's a better team. But BYU is the best team in this conference. I mean, they proved it. Yep. They beat the crap out of K-State. They're undefeated. They'll probably go 12-0. So maybe they'll go 11-1. Who knows?
Well, Steve, that's our power rankings for week 11. And I actually have to get going really soon. So sorry to wrap this up really fast, but
all good, dude.
It is a special day, not just because it's an election day, but
yeah. What's happening? What's happening?
It's my daughter's 10th birthday. So
double digits forever.
Double digits forever until triple digits one day. But yeah, let's go ahead and just say good luck to all those teams this week. K-State, hope you figure something out this week, during your bye week.
We need it because fans are pissed, and I know the players and coaches got to be pissed too. So
yep, they need to get something right here.
And make sure you go out and vote. By the way, regardless of whoever you're voting for, go out and vote. Do your civic duty. And God bless America. So
that's Kenny, right.
There's just one last thing to say, bud,
and that is go Cats.
Go Cats, baby. Email, baby.
Yeah.